All right, the 300-word ad Facebook ad template, and we're going to get into it. It's super important you watch this video before you actually use the template, because I want to explain to you a number of things. So I'm going to go real quick here. How to use this template. Number one, realize this is not going to fix your quality problems. Look, you cannot succeed on Facebook/Instagram ads without a really good ad, but that alone is not going to fix your quality problems. You have to make sure you have an ads ecosystem set up, and you need to watch my training on the new way to run ads to attract the rich. It's going to be linked below this. It's basically part 2 of the 300-word ad training that we've added on, that there's actually 2 components that you need to have in order to actually attract people who have money. And that training is available for free, and the link is below this video. Now, you need to watch this whole training, and then obviously book a free 15-minute mini celebrity status ads, no sales call with us, so that we can help you map it out and look at everything, and we'll get into that. So real quick, who am I? I was a pastor until 2005 when I went full-time online. I'm from Canada, the Canadian Rockies near Calgary and above Montana. And I now live in Las Vegas. We moved here in the year 2000, May 2000, with my wife and 2 kids who are 17 and 19 as of this recording. I've invested well over $4 million into ads, so I know this works, and coached well over 1,200 people. Okay, so here's the template. So I want to get into it here. I'm going to move me over here for now. And I'm going to talk about where this goes and all that kind of stuff. But first of all, let's talk about this template. It's not like technically exactly 300 words, but it's going to be different for everybody. So we have to call it something, right? So let's get into how this works, why this works, and so on and so forth. Okay. So first, how target market can get pleasure without having to do what? Okay. How, and I'm going to use weight loss in this example because it's something broad, something everybody understands, versus some like crazy sophisticated niche where you target, CFOs and Fortune 500 companies who are in manufacturing, and you know what I mean? And that's fine. But I just want to explain this a little broader so everybody can get it. So how professional 6-figure earning women who are trying to lose 30 pounds can lose their weight without having to what? What's the one thing they hate more than anything? Without having to, that they'll realistically believe. Going to the gym every day and again, it's everybody's going to be different, without having to hire a personal trainer. Like, what is it exactly that they don't want to have that they want? So that's the first thing. My clients and I've been able to help my clients drop 30 pounds in 60 to 90 days without ever having them hire a personal trainer, get meal plans, counting calories, whatever it is, right? Now, it's super important here. I'll give you a little tip. With Facebook's ad compliance, you don't want to make claims. So you don't want to say how you can lose 30 pounds. You want to say how me and my clients were able to lose 30 pounds or something to that effect. It's very important you do that, because if you make a claim, Facebook could reject your ad, or worse, shut your ad account down. So you got to be very careful that whenever you're speaking in this language here of the ad, it's about you or your clients, right? Versus like you personally, like me, Jason, how I lost 30 pounds and how me and my clients were able to lose 30 pounds. Or my clients, let's say you're just the coach, you're not the one who actually did it. Well, how my clients were able to lose 30 pounds type thing, right? Without having to use the thing they've tried. It's very important you do that. If you don't, you highly risk the likelihood of losing your ad account. Okay, now, if I could tell you about a simple process, you can say method, way, system, that professional, busy women making 6 figures, working 50 plus hours a week are using to lose 30 pounds without daily going to the gym, without hiring personal trainers, would you want to know about it? For most of my clients, they have tried. What are the things they have tried? They tried personal trainers. They tried, all these different diets, meal plans, this and that. and they're still in pain, the answer would be yes. Well, the good news is that my clients and I, have been able to stop this thing, and remove this pain. And again, you want to reiterate it. And I've created a no-cost webinar, a free Skool community that explains exactly how I did this with pleasure and without pain. And you can access it right now by clicking this link. So it's back and forth, pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure. Remember, the majority of your clients are buying themselves out of something, not into something. Now, it's super important here when you use this template that you actually are hyper-focused on people who have the money, right? You want qualified people. So make sure that you message out unqualified people. So you don't say, hey, if you're unemployed, don't click this ad, or they will, right? You want to just go deep enough on this template so that what happens is people who are not qualified are not going to click. Okay, they're just like, oh, this is way too much. I'm not interested in this. Now, so I want you to try that. Feel free to use it. Now, here's what you need to understand. Okay, a couple things here is that there are some other problems that you need to be aware of, and quite frankly, very big opportunities within meta ads, because this works both for Instagram and Facebook. And the first one is targeting is gone and AI wants to run all your ads. Facebook's even come out and said that. Mark Zuckerberg has said, we want to get it to the place where you literally give us your credit card information, upload your website, tell us how much you want to pay and how many leads you want, and we'll deliver them all. And that's really what they're getting to. And I see why they want to do that. It's easier for them, right? And also it makes running ads just plain dead simple. Just follow what Facebook wants you to do. The problem is you're going to get garbage quality. And the first way you're getting garbage quality is all these audience controls. You can see them right here. They're forcing all these age ranges in here. This is called Advantage Plus. If you use Advantage Plus, I've never seen it work. Let me tell you that. So do not use Advantage Plus. The second problem that's happening right now is there is no targeting. There's very little targeting. So do you see where it says John C. Maxwell here? And the reason I put him is because a lot of business coaches, wealth coaches, mindset coaches, whatever, who want to target people, target John Maxwell because, he's done well. He's been around forever. He's written millions of copies of his books have been sold. And so you used to, up until the summer of 2025, type John C. Maxwell, boom, it would show up. And you could target all John C. Maxwell's fans, his followers, all that kind of stuff. And it was actually quite good. But now that's gone. And a lot of the targeting is super broad. You can see like self-help, and it's like 216 million. And that's a problem because look, if you're at an ad budget of $50 a day, $30 a day, whatever, your ad is going to go to too broad of an audience. Okay. Now, the next problem is how ads have changed. Okay. It's just super important. So the ad copy that I gave you, you see where it says here, I made this ad up. It's not real, but I used it as an example. So do you see where it says, are you a woman trying to lose at least 30 pounds, right? Okay. And then normally it would say, click for more, and then it would open the ad up. And that in here and where the ad opens up, and then at the bottom here, right there, that's kind of where the ad template here, let me just go back, where this fits in, right? Where that goes. But the problem is, we got all this other real estate that we got to fix too, and we need to leverage the text better and even all the other attributions better. And that's why I have that other video for you below this one to watch to know how to do that. Because the actual, what we put on the image is, I would say, twice as powerful as this ad copy that we have given you. It's in terms of this template. Okay. Wherever it is. Where is it? Here it is. Up there. Probably twice as powerful as this. And the reason why is because not as many people are hitting the read more. It's not here, but normally it'd be there, and you see it all the time on ads, and they're just clicking based on the image. Okay. So how does Meta's AI find how Meta's AI finds you qualified coaching clients? This has also changed. And so I want to explain it to you. So you can see here, I've spent about 2.2 million in the last few years. This stats only go back so far, and I've spent well over 4 or 5 million on ads, but I would have to go back into multiple ad managers, and I don't think I really care. I think if I show you this, you can be like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. So anyhow, my ads go to, my ad audiences are in the millions and millions, a lot of open targeting, stuff like that. But you can see here, if it's only reached 3 million people, right? And so you can see this over here. This is like a pie slice that I draw, a pie. And what this is this is your audience on Meta, on Facebook, Instagram, whichever one you use, right? Your ad is only going to go into about 1% of that audience, okay? Then what's going to happen is Facebook is just going to keep showing it to the same people, and that's called frequency. Okay. This is very important. If you look at your ads manager and you go to the ad section, it'll show a column that says frequency, or in your ad set or wherever. If your frequency is over 1.5 on cold traffic, meaning those are just new people, what does that mean? That means they've locked in on a chunk of your audience and they're now going back to it, because frequency is how many times they're going back to the same people, right? It's the reach, okay? Reach is how many times they're going back to them. So you're going to see the frequency says 1.5 and your reach will be like 3.4 million or whatever. I don't know. And that's an important message, because what that's telling you is your ad, Facebook's locked in on your audience. They found your pie slice. And now they're going back to the same people again and again and again. And your frequency is just going to keep going up and up and up. Okay. Because Facebook's locked in. They're like, these are our people. If you're not getting qualified leads, you're screwed, because here's what all the gurus are saying. Let it run longer. Just keep letting it run. Change your messaging. Change your ad copy. Well, guess what? It's locked in on that pie slice, and that little frequency number is just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And you're like, I've changed my ad. I said, only click this ad if you make 500,000 a year, and I'm still getting broke people and all this stuff. It's because they've locked in. And it doesn't matter what kind of ad you put on. That's what they're doing. So this is how Facebook is finding people. And I go into it in more detail in my other video there on how ads that attract the rich, and the link's below. And again, it's free. It's there to help you. But the brutal math is this. I want to explain to you the other part of this problem is we need an ecosystem to make these ads work, not just a ad. Okay. And you cannot get good clients without the right ad, but the right ad alone isn't going to get you good clients. Okay. And so what a lot of coaches are experiencing is they're like, I talk to coaches all the time and I'm like, my ads are just not working as good as they were. I was getting way better leads 6 months ago. Everything was better. The quality was better. I didn't have to spend as much. They weren't as combative. Now they're just like angry, and I got to spend more to get the more money, and I'm having to do more sales and do more calls and follow-up calls and all this kind of stuff, right? And what's happening is the market is shifting, and people are like, oh, well, I got to create a better ad copy. Okay, here's where that is. That's right here. So let's say, for example, you get 1,000 clicks, okay, and you're paying $2 a click, which is really cheap, right? And so what a lot of coaches are doing is they're like, I got to get better, cheaper clicks. So they're like, if I can just find a better ad that gets me cheaper clicks, I can make the math work, right? I can make more money. I can get back to where I was. I can scale to 20, 30, 50 grand a month. Life is good. Here's the problem, okay? This funnel model that most coaches are doing some version of this, it doesn't work. Okay, the math won't work for you. So let's do it. 1,000 clicks, $2 a click. So just remember $2,000. Write that down. $2,000. All right. You ran. These are how many people clicked on your ad. Okay, left Facebook, clicked your ad. Now, 15% of them give you an email address. That's about average. A little high actually, but 15% is good. Okay, you got 150 emails. Perfect. All right. If you're good, you're going to get 10% of those 150 to book a call. You got to remember, most coaches are using book a call funnels that are like taking people to a page with a 3-minute video and then a calendar, or straight to a calendar, basically saying, And I'm no disrespect, but like, hey, I'm an awesome coach. Here's all my case studies, my testimonials, book a call. I got this system. It's going to help you make a lot of money. It's going to help you lose weight, whatever it is, right? And they get all these call bookings, and then like half the people show up. And then of the 8 that show up, which is a little high, 3 are qualified, and then maybe 1 or 2 buy at like $3,000. So you spent $2,000 on ads. And, if you're having a bad month or you're tired and you're just not on top of things, you might only get 1 sale. And that 1 sale makes you $3,000, but you spent $2,000 on ads. Like, then now you got to spend a ton of money to even make a little bit of money, or you get 2 buyers at $3,000 each. Now you made $6,000 on $2,000. That's a little better, but that's still not great. Okay. And the reason is these traditional funnels do not work anymore. They stopped working in 2023. I have videos here on how to fix it with the ecosystem and all that kind of stuff, because they're front loaded and they demand cheap ads to make it work, right? So what do you got to do? Well, I can't raise my prices. I'm not getting a lot of leads. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to get cheaper leads. And then the quality gets worse and worse and worse all the way through. And then by this time, you do these 8 show up and they're all unemployed and you can't make any money. Okay. So it's not going to work, because this model requires that you be 100% at everything, perfect everywhere, and you can't. So your ad goes in here in the ecosystem. All right. So we put that little ad plus the image ad that I'm going to show you in how to attract the clients, how to attract the rich in the other video below, the links below. And we're going to put that in here. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get Facebook to put it into the correct pie slice. And we're going to drive them into a long form content strategy, which includes, it depends on you. It depends on your situation. Sometimes we take them right to a Skool community. I want to stop you right here before you stop this video. Skool communities are not communities. Okay. A Facebook group used to be a community. You go in there, you post all the time. Everybody posts, everybody shares. It's exhausting. Nobody sees your stuff. Okay. A Skool community is a strategic place to put your long form content that gets book calls. We get about 30% of anybody who registers for our stuff or who signs up to our community is going to book a call with us. 30%. Funnels average 10% at best. Most clients I talk to, it's 3%. So we're getting about 10 times more call bookings. We get almost 100% show up rate. Okay. And so we either Skool community or automated webinar that starts every 15 minutes. And the secret is a 70% show up rate. Now, and there's a variety of other ways we can do this. There's whole kinds of things in here. Okay. But we get them into this long form content, and guess what it does? Shifts their belief system. If you get them into long form content and you just want to give them good educational value and lots of good content, show how good you are, guess what? They don't care. Okay. Because YouTube's uploading 700,000 hours a day of videos. If people are spending an average of 15 minutes on ChatGPT, like they don't care. Okay. And it's only going to just overwhelm them. We need strategic long form content that's specifically designed to shift their belief system to get them to want to buy from you and want to work from you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to do. And then we hook it into our symptomatic email list, which then shifts their belief system even more, which books calls. Okay. Long form books calls. Symptomatic email books calls. So that we're booking calls through all of this stuff right here. Then we hook them into short form content. Short form content could be posts on your personal Facebook page, personal business page, LinkedIn page, Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, all that kind of stuff, right? And so where all coaches are getting it wrong is they're starting here. They're starting at short form content, creating reels, creating content, trying to go viral, trying to get lots of people. And then they're like, get them on my list, get them into my stuff, get them to buy. It's not working. It's too hard because the reach is too hard. Okay. It's like, I'll tell you, I've got an Instagram page that I was testing that's brand new. I spent about $800 to get a bunch of reels created. I had 1,000 people view my reels and I got 2 followers. Okay. It's a test I did. Didn't work so well. Okay. And so we leverage all of this to get people to your short form content where you now can just build a relationship with them organically. You don't have to really post, or you don't even have to do it if you don't want to. And then it books calls from there. It gets people to here, it gets people to there. This is all automated. And then when people book calls, we feed that information back to Facebook so that Facebook has the call booking data, watch this, to find more people who look like the people who are booking calls. Okay. Do you want people who look like the people who are just registering? Or do you want Facebook showing your ad to people who look like the people who are booking calls? Which is going to give you better quality, and which is going to go into that segment that I showed you, right? And so then what we do into this pie slice is we're able to get Facebook to find people who look like the people who we actually want. And that's how we get it into the right pie slice and get this thing working. And this ecosystem preserves your energy, gets you seen as the only option, gets people to want to work with you. And then by the time they talk to you, they show up, they've gone through all your stuff, they follow you, they know you, they get your personality. Because here's the thing, with all this AI stuff that's going on, people want to work with somebody they like, they trust, they have a good vibe with, they're like, yeah, I really like that person. And the only way to do that is an ecosystem. You cannot do it with a funnel. Okay. And so the ad template is over here, but it does nothing if none of this is set up right. But that said, without the ad template, none of this works. So it's a both and, not an either or. And so if you're just trying to slap that ad template I gave you into some version of a funnel system, don't even bother. It's not going to work. It's not going to help. Changing it to only click this ad if you make 200 grand a year. I'll just tell you right now, you're just wasting your time. Okay. We need an ecosystem because it gets more people. And then we hook in the mini celebrity status ads, which are ads that target everybody in the long form content. And we're showing them other content, other videos, other types of text-based content to shift their belief system, to get your status up, to get them to see you every day. They're seeing you. They're watching you. The people on your list are seeing your ads, and these little teeny ads we run on small budgets, getting them into your long form content, getting them into book calls. And we create this loop in here that gets more money. Because here's the problem. Affluent buyers are repelled by funnels. Okay. This is like an ad, right? Buy a cheesy timeshare. This is how your ideal client who's sophisticated and has money, when they see your lead magnet for an email address to watch a video, to download a PDF or something like that or whatever, this is what they think. Cheesy. Okay. Been there, done that. It's ChatGPT created. It's like everybody else is doing this. It's a cheesy thing. Sort of like buying timeshares. And again, no disrespect if you bought timeshares. I know people who have, but you get the point, right? And so that's what funnels do, where ecosystems actually attract people. So that's what I'm saying. You put this ad template in front of your funnel, it's just going to attract more people who are aspirational, who are not qualified, and who are desperate. And the qualified people are like, no. Where we get them into an ecosystem, it gets the qualified people to a place where they can't not work with you, see you as the only option, and see you as different. Okay? All right, putting it all together. Everything is about messaging and the ecosystem. Meta ads are your only hope for scaling in 2026. They're working better than ever for coaches who know how to do it with the way I'm showing you. Ecosystems have replaced the funnels, and you must shift your market beliefs versus provide information. It's all about shifting your market's belief system versus providing good information, okay? Because the bottom line is, up until 2003, it was all about just giving good information that builds trust. Well, we're not short on information, right? Nobody cares you had a TED Talk. Nobody cares you wrote 6 bestsellers. Nobody cares you've got 5 master's degrees and 6 PhDs and whatever else. They just don't care because, quite frankly, they don't believe it. Okay? All right? So they don't care. So that's why we have to shift their beliefs. We use ads to grow organic, not organic to do it. And you will get people who want to work with you. You're going to be seen as the only options. Coaching prospects want to get into your ecosystem, and evolving the ecosystem is easier than working harder on a funnel that's giving you diminishing returns. Because you might be looking at this going, oh man, I just thought I need an ad. Look, you're swimming up a stream that's going downhill really fast. And when we move to an ecosystem model, it's actually easier, gets you better results, better quality people. And it's the future. It's what the successful coaches are using now. So it's actually going to end up being less work than it is more work. But a lot of coaches have this mindset of, well, I'm in this coaching program. They taught me how to drive leads to a Facebook group, which doesn't work. Okay. They taught me how to do this. I spent all this money. I'm getting no calls. I talk to coaches all the time who tell me that, and they're really upset. I'm like, hey, what you did got you here. That's fine. You've learned a lot. You've gained a lot of knowledge. I try and tell people all the time, at 18, it took you a few different probably tries to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life. You didn't just go to school at 18 and you've been doing the same thing for 30 years or whatever. You tried a few different things. Very few people married their first girlfriend, right? You dated or boyfriend or whatever you dated, and you're like, okay, I hate this. I like this. I like that. Maybe you had some tough relationships, but that's where you learned the most, right? Well, it's the same thing here. You tried some funnels. You did some strategies. It made you money. It got you to where you are. Now it's time to be like, that's okay. It's easier to do what's working and take what I've got and then leverage that to the next level, then double down on what's not working and hope it eventually works better. Okay. For example, I'll show you some examples of some results, right? Jeremy, he teaches people how to play the trumpet. He does $30,000 to $40,000 a month, charges $5,400 for his coaching program. Okay. Natalie was able to I helped her grow her coaching business to over $100,000 a month as a love coach. Sid, he looks kind of angry, but Sid's a really cool guy because I screenshotted this out of an interview. He's doing $30,000 to $40,000 a month as a mindset coach for business owners. Jen got over $1 million last year as well. So you can do this. Dawn, it's $25,000 a month helping women get out of narcissistic marriages. And you think about it. A lot of these women are in marriages where guess what? The husband controls all the money. Okay. And yet they're paying him $5,000 plus for his coaching. Okay. So you can do it. So here's what I want to do. I want to give you a free mini celebrity status, ads ecosystem, 15-minute, no sales call. Okay. And because figuring this out on your own is the most expensive way to do this. Every month you do this wrong, you're missing out on lost income, right? If you're doing 10 grand a month and you should be at 30,000, guess what? Every month you don't do this, and our 20,000 you missed out on. You know what I'm saying? Everything is messaging, trust, and getting you to see is the only option. We are in a new season, and the coaches who get it are going to make a lot of money, have an amazing life, help a lot of people because the ecosystem is working better than ever. Okay. This is the future. Everything I just told you. And so this is what's going to get your business to the next level. This is what's going to help you get that next $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 month. This is what's going to help you to impact your market and get to where you want to go. So here's what we want to do. We want to help you for free, no cost. Click the link below, book a 15-minute mini celebrity status ads call with us. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to look at everything, give you some feedback, give you some ideas. We've done hundreds of these calls, so we're able to, we know your market. We know what the best price points are, how to adjust your ads, how to adjust the ecosystem, what's working best right now. And so instead of just figuring this out all by yourself, you're in our free Skool community. Simple. Book a call. We'll help you out. We'll give you some feedback, show you what's working, what we're seeing. Because if you're sitting behind the scenes and you don't know anything, you just got to figure it out all by yourself. Whereas we know the data. We know what you should be spending on ads, what's working, what the KPIs are, what the best prices are for charging, what the types of best ads are working, all that. We know all that stuff. So we're just going to give it to you for free. Book the call. And there's nothing to buy. Okay. So just leave your credit card in the freezer. Nothing to buy. Just want to give you some good value because you're in a free Skool community. Now, if you want to talk about coaching, we can talk about that at the end for a couple minutes and then probably set up a second call for that and go from there. But this call is about you, about getting this figured out, giving you some really good feedback. Plus, we're going to unlock a couple of extra bonus trainings that we normally have reserved for our clients. Okay. So just book the call below. First of all, hit the link, book that call. Then number 2, watch the video under this video on attracting the rich. And I'm going to give you version 2 of how to use the other template. All right? Okay. Get to work.